This is assignment 5, where we're asked to write a hash init function that creates and fills the hash table using 3 different hash equations. The hash table is created using specific input parameters, then the hash table is then printed to the user. So to begin, what we need to do first is write our header file. This is where we will list all the functions we'll be using. So here we have the hash init function, which creates and fills the hash table, and h1 and h2 are hash equations, which we use to handle collisions. Now we can write our hash.c file, which is where we will write the implementation of each function. So we can declare our variables for the input parameters. Then we have hash1 function and hash2 function, which are the 2 equations used for double hashes. These 2 are used so that we can remove the issue of clustering, and it spreads the number out in the array. In order to start the hash init function, what we need to do is perform the h of k function, which is given in the assignment. It gives an index, and you put it in the array if you can, but we need to implement a loop because if we can't, we need to check a second or third time, and so on, and check until we get a new index. We write a loop to keep checking until we find an open slot in the array, and we keep performing this loop until there is a spot in the array so that we can put it in there. The reason we set I to 0 is because we are running h of k every single time. Once a spot is found, then we want to break the loop and then put it into the hash table, which is here. So finally, we can write our main function, and in our main function, we can declare our variables for the input parameters. So according to the code, we need an input using the following array: a hash table, which is an array used to store the hashed values. We set it to 11 because 11 is the length of m, and m is the length of the hash table and the input array. In the assignment, we must also declare r, which is 7, and r is the value used in the double hash. Then we can call the hash init function prototype that we made, which creates and fills the hash table, and then write a loop which repeats 11 times to use the equation for each input, and then prints the hash table to the user. Then we can run the code, and as you can see, the hash table is then filled. So 1 0 0 0 2 3 is in index 1, 1 is in index 2, and so on. As you can see, the numbers that are inputted are randomly spread out in the array, which means that the equation was done correctly, as it picks different slots depending on the output of the hash of k equation. And that is assignment 5.